Film has had a remarkable influence on world culture since the late 1800s. At the birth of its inception, audiences were surprised, excited, and even overwhelmed by the power of moving images. Today, that emotional impact still exists, but in a far greater context.
That's a fake laugh.
It's real!
As a cinephile, someone with a strong love for all things cinema, I'm used to being called snobby or overthinking for my comments about the greater meaning behind a film or the exploration for how it bonds with the audience. Yet, my love for film is by no means different from the opinions of those that simply watch a film to have a good time, and that's the important quality that such an art form has. You see, film wasn't just this overly pretentious pastime. In fact, later film historians called cinema one of the first working class art forms. We all have different humanistic intentions for why we like things, and our interest in the kinds of films we want to watch highlights the impression that cinema has left on society.
I could feel at the time there was no way of knowing, fallen leaves in the night. Who can say where they're blowing?
We can laugh, cry, cower in fear, love, and even hate films that we watch, and that's what makes film exhibition and education important to national cultivation.
Were you listening to the dude's story?
I was bowling.
So you have no frame of reference here, Donnie. You're like a child who wanders into the middle of a movie and wants to know...
Walter, what's the point, man?
There's no reason. Here's my point.
When most people watch a film, it opens them up far more emotionally as a person than they would in any other given situation. I have male friends that wouldn't show a hint of emotion in person, but they cried man tears at the end of Rocky. The point is, film is an activity that we can all become strongly affiliated with. If you agree with this, here's the bad news. Next year in Northern Ireland, the Department of Culture, Arts and Leisure are prepared to take a 50% cut from all establishments being funded by Northern Ireland Screen, a leading agency that's critical to the growth of film culture in our country. The cut will have a disastrous effect to film in Northern Ireland, and will consequently lead to a decline in film exhibition and education, and you're going to hear me use those two words a lot. You're probably asking why this is important. Cuts happen every day, and it would be false to assume that film is more important than any other industry. Well, economically speaking, here in Northern Ireland, the film and television industry has saw a substantial incline over the last 5 years with the success of local and international productions such as Game of Thrones, Dracula Untold, and The Fall. To say Northern Ireland isn't a film industry to take seriously has completely changed. Cinemagic, the Nerve Centre, Into Film Club, both the Belfast and Foyle Film Festivals, and for me personally, the Queen's Film Theatre, will all take an unnecessary financial cut. These organisations are driven by the passion to educate people on the arts industry as a whole. Cinemagic, for example, has inspired opportunities for young people to develop future skills and grow them into industry professionals under the guidance of top-tier individuals, while film festivals intrinsically bring greater tourism and exhibit insight into other countries. Education sees drastic cuts on a yearly basis, which is an embarrassment to the benefit of young people who are always claimed by the government to be the future. But you cut their funding, you cut their experiences. Local talent aims to go beyond the boundaries of its troubled history, which sees too much attention as opposed to building new experiences and a future us young people will eventually inherit. Constantly drilling on about the troubles through media is like turning the invention of the wheel into a square. As a filmmaker for the last decade, starting when I was 11 in secondary school after being inspired by great teachers, to see film grow in the education system from when I was in class is incredibly rewarding and exciting. Going back to my old school, the growth in media and arts has drawn unbelievable creativity and intelligence that I wish I had 5 years ago. I've developed as a person through the organisations I've listed. I've been able to exhibit my films in cinemas such as the QFT, and I even got to present my work in person at the Cinemagic Film Festival in Odeon Cinema, one of the largest cinema chains in the UK. As a young person, you don't come across experiences like that too often, and it inspired me to continue as a filmmaker, to the point where I even had a film premiered in Austria last month. These organisations breathe new life into Northern Irish society, and invite us to explore beyond the boundaries of what we already know. Film contributes to everything that the education system should be fighting so hard to defend. The best way to put it? The support of these establishments is needed to make mass understanding economically, socially, psychologically, anthropologically, intelligently, creatively, and humanly possible. Let that spiral in your head for a bit. Film maintains the culture we live in. It genuinely changes lives, whether it be a stress-relieving functionality, or something to emotionally connect with us and steer us in a positive direction, or something that enlightens us and inspires our way of living. In lay people's terms, film is simply popcorn fun, but on a global level, film is a true way to capture moving life. If you want to show your support to film, please respond to the draft via the link in the description. I understand a lot of my subscribers are from various parts from around the globe, but that's my point exactly. Film brings people together. Thanks for your time, guys. I'll see you all very soon.